Do you shop at Aldi, Calv? Do you?
I have shopped at Aldi too.
Yes! Same man of the people. That's what we want to hear.
This is the official Leeds United podcast.
I've never seen 36,000 people at the same time crying. Tears of joy.
And you were one of them.
100%. Oh my gosh, the goosebumps are coming back to me now. Like, it was a mental moment. And like we obviously we deserved to win that game. We were far superior than they were. We had a couple of really, really good opportunities, good chances, played some really sexy football as well. But ultimately, what a game's judged on? Goals. And we were lacking the goals. We got one, obviously, in the first half, which was nothing less than what we deserved. We should have gone in maybe 2 or 3. Do you know what, actually? 3 or 4 up in the first half. We had some great chances, some great opportunities, played some really slick, nice, lovely football. Oh my gosh. This is the type of football that I'm expecting to see now from Mr. Marsh and the boys, because we saw it against Leicester. We didn't see it against Villa, but now we've seen it against Norwich. So the Leicester and the Norwich performances, I'm assuming that's how we want to play. Pressing in clusters, high intensity, high energy, keeping our positions at the back.
Do you know what, boys, right? I'm just going to switch the running order around. Basically, we're going to say happy birthday to a few people, but first, we've got more pressing matters. Matt, where did you watch that game?
I was in the pub, as I always am. I got cramp from celebrating, which I'm still nursing now. So those lads from the...
You're soft.
I'm not even kidding. I had the Theragun on it last night. It's still killing me. So those lads who were like...
Oh, big shout out to Theragun.
Yeah, there you go. But those lads who maybe had a little bit of a niggle, like Pat and Rodrigo, I see them sprinting down to the corner to celebrate. So God knows what they're feeling like today.
The work that he was doing, I hate bigging him up like this because his head's massive as it is.
No, it's not. He's lovely. We love him.
It's really not. It's really not. But you look at the way he stretched the game. So he was trying to run in behind the defenders, which naturally drops the defenders back a little bit, and it creates huge spaces for the midfield 5 to kind of push on and squeeze up the field a lot more. When he's not playing, we didn't have that luxury. Yeah. Dan James, as you mentioned before, did the best that he could do, but because he's not a naturally aware centre forward, like that's not his first and foremost thought. His is, can I get on the ball and then try and make something happen? Whereas Pat's like, well, if I run in behind, it's going to create spaces somewhere else, and then I do the second movement to get myself into the right positions for the ball to come across. Like we saw with the shot that he had, he let the ball cut across his body just a little bit too much. And without him making the first movement, the initial movement, that wouldn't have happened. Also, for the goal in the first half, it was his movement that was pushing the defence back anyway, which created an opportunity for the defender to knock the ball down to Dan James. He took a lovely touch.
Onside movement.
And Rodrigo done exactly as I would normally have done. Steal somebody else's shot, 100%. Brilliant.
Well,
brilliant. What a finish!
I want to mention Rods as well because, and I don't know if it's because Pat was on the field that gave him that bit of that breathing space, but I just thought that he played out of his skin and it really allowed him to thrive in the game. And actually, I thought we when Pat came off as well, but when Rodrigo came off, we suffered for it, and I think that he obviously I think he had a bit of a niggle in his quad or whatever, but. What a performance from him as well. I mean, everyone was played really, really well, but he was someone who really stood out to me, Rodrigo.
Bex, let's talk about the man that stole the show in the closing moments, Joffy. How buzzing will he be?
Oh my word!
What's that feeling like?
Firstly, you could see it. You could see it in his immediate reaction to scoring the goal. There were so many camera views, different angles, and one of them from the side, he was just full of ecstasy. He was just so excited, so happy. And then my favourite one is the one front on. You could just see borderline tears in his eyes. You could see the passion that was screaming out of this kid. Brilliant. But this is the sort of thing we've been missing. We've been missing this centre forward in a centre forward's position. You saw when Rafa went around the keeper, he cut it back. He could only cut it back to one place. And that place was where Joffrey was stood. Now, I don't think anybody else would have been stood in that position, and that just screams out centre forward positional sense. But he would have gone home that evening on cloud nine, on absolute cloud nine. The world is his oyster. We know how good he is from a Leeds angle, from a Leeds perspective. And that gave everybody else a great opportunity to see him. Obviously, he didn't play for long, maybe 5-10 minutes at the end of the game, but it gave everybody else an opportunity to see the quality that this young kid has. And he's at a great place where he's going to be kept grounded. He's got great people around him. His mum put out a tweet on a couple of days ago, just crying emojis, just seeing how proud and how happy she was of him. And, you know, it was... there's no words that could explain that feeling, that emotion that he felt in that exact moment. It's one of those magical moments, honestly.
We were lucky enough to have a chat with Kalvin Phillips a few weeks ago. Because of when we recorded it, there's obviously no mention of the last few games or Marcelo's exit, but it's a wide-ranging chat that we're sure you'll enjoy. So have a listen to this.
Listening on together.
What would be your dream meal, like starter, main and dessert? Anything in the world, and the manager won't hear this, so tell us.
Welcome to the Leeds United Podcast, everyone, with the hottest inside information you can ever find. Kalvin's favourite dinner. Come on, let's hear it.
So I like everything, but if I went to a restaurant and I had to buy starter, main, dessert, for starter I'd probably get either chicken wings, bruschetta, or croquettes. I like truffle. Do you know truffle croquettes?
Yeah.
Very fancy, Cal.
Okay. Yeah.
Not
getting those at Nando's, are we?
Yeah.
And then for main, I'd probably have maybe a steak or some sort of fish or something like that.
Would you have chips
And
with it?
No, I don't now.
No, but we're in dream world here. Like we're in like a world
yeah,
where you're like.
I definitely have chips.
Yeah.
Would it be
Triple
fries
cut.
or chunky chips?
Chunky chips.
Yeah.
Chunky chips. All right, interesting.
And then for dessert, I'd have to have like a Biscoff cheesecake or something like that.
Yeah. Now we're talking. Biscoff. Do you love Biscoff?
Yeah, I love it.
Oh my God!
Honestly,
Isn't it just the best thing ever?
Yeah.
Have you tried the Biscoff donuts?
No? Where from?
Kalvin, Krispy Kreme, other donuts are available. They're unbelievable. They've got Biscoff spread in the middle of them. Oh, I'm salivating. You need to try them. When you're allowed. When you're allowed.
Come on. That is the cruelest thing you've ever done, Emma.
Oh, yeah, that's
Kid's on a
awful,
diet.
actually, isn't it?
What are you doing?
I'll have one for you, Calv.
Yeah, nice one.
All Leeds, aren't we? The official Leeds United podcast.
Calv, just on international duty, I know it probably feels like forever ago now, but just cast your mind back to the Euros last year. How do you reflect on that now? Do you have any standout memories or funny stories from that time?
Funny stories, I've got quite a few, but
Tell us.
none that I could really say in there.
Why don't you say them and then we can always cut them out later on?
Yeah. I'll tell you what, Cal. How did you feel? Because we were wetting ourselves when Pat got his cap, and he didn't know whether to get up or not. Did you see? I don't know if you were sat there. Tell me that you were pissing yourself watching that.
Yeah, it's just funny, isn't it? Because I always take the mick out of Pat anyway whenever I see him. And
what do you say the mick out of him for?
Just everything. Everything that I can see that maybe it might catch my eye or make me laugh. I always take the mick out of him. So
is he really the worst dressed? Because Bill Ayling said he was the worst dressed at the club.
I think you know what it is. I think he's just lazy when it comes to dress sense. I don't think he's actually that bad. Like he's got that bad of a dress sense, but I think he's just lazy with it. Like he'll get up in the morning and just chuck on whatever and come into training. Like he's not bothered. He's one of them ones that's not bothered about what he's wearing and stuff like that. There's been times where obviously we get these Adidas training socks here.
Yeah,
very nice. There's been times where 3 years ago we had Kappa, or 2 years ago we had Kappa socks. And Pat still comes in them Kappa socks today. So.
I love him for that. I love him for that.
I'm wearing bloody Macron, so I can't talk, can I?
But Are there any funny stories from the Euros, Calv, that you can share with us?
I'd probably say one of them that stuck out for me is after the group stages when, we didn't know who was going to get. We thought it would, depending on how Hungary and Germany, I think, played, or Hungary and somebody else played against each other. We had a day out. We had the free day to do whatever we wanted, and I went to play golf. Well, not play golf. Went to watch golf because I had a bad shoulder, but watched them play. Watched Kyle Walker play, Jordan Pickford, Harry Maguire, Rashford, Ben White, Aaron Ramsdale. So it was a fun day then, and then we got back at about 4:00, and then when we had like a little barbecue in the eating area, and then went and sat down, turned around, and Ed Sheeran was sat on the other table. So it was a good
And he
day.
turned up there to see you guys, or was he just in the same place by coincidence?
No, because it was a private hotel, so I think Harry Kane was the one that sorted it out. He messaged him and asked him if he'd like to come down and see the lads. And
how the other half live. Of course, Harry Kane just messaged Ed Sheeran.
His little guitar and sat there and played songs for us.
You're living your dream, aren't you? Playing for your boyhood club. And we've seen a lot of youngsters come through and get game time with the first team this season, almost forced into doing it, but they've relished the opportunity. Do they come to you and ask for advice because they know you have that experience?
Not really, no. No, but obviously all the young lads that come through, I'm always very friendly with them. I'm always very open with them. If they ever do anything wrong, then I'll take them to a side and let them know that. And you've got likes, obviously Jamie Shackleton, and you got Cree, you got Joffrey that has just started playing and done really well. So I don't really like to say too much to them because I like them to just feel comfortable in what they're doing, and they're really good lads anyway. So I know that whatever advice they get, they're going to take it on board and just keep on making them strides forward. And I think most of the lads that have the young lads that have come into the team have done that, and we've still got a good few young players as well that are coming through, and hopefully they can get some game time as well.
Was there any point at which you just were like, maybe you were struggling on the training pitch, or maybe during a game you just went, I don't know if I can do this? Or did you just constantly want to do it?
There's been loads of times where I felt like that. I think, whenever you make a mistake, there's always things that come into your head where you think, like, am I good enough to be playing in this position, good enough to be playing in a team, should I be starting? And I think it just goes down to yourself and, being confident in yourself and how you work, and, being confident in the teammates around you to believe in you and, to trust you doing the right things. And I've always had the so-called leaders in the team, like Coops, Stewie, Luke, Adam. They've always been very helpful with me. They've always helped me through certain situations in my career where I thought that, I might not play, or I need to play more, or whatever, something like that. And it's always just been the fact that we're very close and we always get along. Like I said, whenever I do anything wrong, I've got the people above me and the leaders that tell me it's not right, and tell me how I can be a better player. And then there's times where I think you've got to do it by yourself as well, that when you've not played well, or where you need to get better at certain things, and you've got to work extra harder to make that happen.
Listening on together.
How long does it take you to do like day-to-day tasks? Because you must get stopped all the time in Leeds. Does it take you ages to just do things and get about? Like, for example, if I was to go to Aldi, I'd be like, right, I can be in and out within 20 minutes. Do you need like an hour and a half because people will stop you on every aisle for photos?
Do you shop at Aldi, Calv? Do you?
I have shopped at Aldi too.
Yes!
Same man of the people. That's what we want to hear.
Love
That
it.
is good. But yeah, I wouldn't say an hour and a half. I'd probably say it'd take me you'd probably say take double the time, because I'd obviously have to stop for photos and stuff, which I don't mind. I honestly, when people ask me for photos, like, I'm happily willing to take photos with everyone, just because they've shown me support throughout my career, and especially kids as well. I love, obviously, being an inspiration to kids and being a role model to kids. So when kids ever come up to me and ask for photos, I try and go that little bit more and maybe do a little video message or something, or give them a photo that that I've got in my car or whatever. So
Love that. I mean, you're that much of a role model that you've got a mural in the city centre. Do you ever just go and stand near that and be like, "That's me"?
every time I drive past it, to be fair, I'm like, "Oh bloody hell, who's that?" And then look up and it's me, just like that.
Outside of football, is there anything in life that gets under your skin?
There's not much. I'd probably say the only thing that gets under my skin is, you see, when you have toothpaste and you don't shut the lid and it goes rock hard.
Yeah.
My girlfriend leaves the lid off all the time. And that is one thing. Every morning when I wake up, I squeeze the toothpaste and it don't come out, so I squeeze it even more and it just flies out, and all the rest of the toothpaste flies out as well.
That's so right. What, are we living like animals?
Yeah,
every morning, me and like I said to my girlfriend, like, "You've done it again. Why have you done that? Why don't you just shut the lid so it don't go hard?" And then she just.
I bet she's like that. Why don't you get some real problems, Kalvin?
Yeah,
Does she squeeze from the middle of the tube as well?
No, I do too. Fair. I squeeze from the
Oh
middle.
mate, that gets me. That.
Bottom
Why
up.
do you roll it?
Bottom
You
up.
roll it.
No, I just go from the bottom. I just,
Yeah.
My girlfriend
just
rolls
go
it.
from the.
My girlfriend
Yeah,
rolls
well,
it.
Yeah, to be fair, she's preserved it.
Decent
She's getting
technique.
every last bit of toothpaste out. Kalvin, you've spoken brilliantly about Black Lives Matter in support of Marcus Rashford's campaign for free school meals. And we know that you yourself support some local charities near where you grew up. How important is that to you?
I think it's really important. Obviously, I'm from Leeds. I want to show love to a lot of communities, a lot of different charities and people who just, need help in general, especially after COVID and all the stuff that's gone on with COVID. I just like helping people. I always sit there and think, do I do enough? Do I do enough to help the community? I do enough to help maybe independent companies, when they're struggling from time to time. So, that's always on my mind, and I know I do a little bit of that, but I also want to do a lot more. So I am looking into venturing into helping a lot more people in the next year or so.
You could very easily just be playing your football and go home and sit in your, I don't know what car you got, some expensive car.
Oh,
and
I
just
thought you were going to say your pants then. I'm glad you said car.
I was just saying, sit in his Range Rover or something. But you could very easily, and no one would even begrudge you that, because they'd be like, well, he works hard enough on the pitch, he can go do what he wants. But people will be really, really inspired by hearing that, because you don't need to, but you do. And footballers get a bad rap for a lot of things. And so to hear a player with the profile of yourself saying that actually even the stuff you're already doing isn't enough, you want to even do more, that's going to mean a lot to a lot of people, I think.
Yeah, it's just one of the things where, like you said, I feel like over the last 6 months or so since the start of the season, I've gone home and I've just been sat there and thinking, like, I should be doing more. I should be helping a lot more people out, especially in the city and different communities and stuff that have been struggling because, like I said, the COVID and everything else. So it's just one of the things that's come to my mind the last probably month or so. So I am, like I said, trying to work out different things to try and help, the people that do need help around the city.
We speak, Kalvin, to loads of legends from Leeds United, and they reflect on their time at the club. Do you think because you've seen almost both sides of the coin and you've been such a crucial part of the rise of this football club in recent years, that in many, many years when you've retired, you will reflect on this in almost a different way than you do now because you'll be outside of it? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so, yeah, definitely. I think, I've been there through the ups and downs, so I know what it's like. I know what it feels like because I'm a Leeds fan as well. I know what it feels like for disappointment. I know how it feels, obviously, when we got promoted and how ecstatic I was then. And I think, obviously, when you leave football, I know, obviously, in 10, 12 years' time, when I leave football, it'll always be something that, will be missing from me. Like, I'll always miss it. It'll always be something that, I want to have back. And your career goes very fast. I'm 26 now, and I can remember signing my scholarship when I was 16 and thinking I've got a long time ahead now. But I'm 26 now, and it feels like time's just gone flying by. And I think obviously when I retire and when I'm old and probably fat, I will look back at it and I'll think, because I know for a fact that this club's gonna get even bigger and bigger. We're gonna grow and grow even more, and hopefully I can look back and think, I was obviously at a pinnacle point in that time, and maybe I was part of the team that started that off, and I'll always look back and think, I was in the right place at the right time to make that happen.
All Leeds, aren't we? The official Leeds United podcast.
Someone must have a tattoo of your face somewhere. Someone must have that.
I've seen that before, yeah. But I don't think that's weird. Weird.
That's
like
cool,
looking at it, I do. Like when I first see it, I'm like, oh, that is a bit weird. But then it's just the fan in it. Like he loves me, obviously. And
you want to
hope
that it's a flattering tattoo, though, and you're not like, God, I look ugly in that.
What if they put weight on and then your face is slowly just getting bigger and bigger?
It's just replicating what I'm going to be like in.
Are you doing all the boxing stuff that Pat was doing to try and shred the pounds?
I'm going to get a video of Pat doing that boxing, because he says it's boxing, but it's not boxing.
So weird. He's been telling us that he's got the toughest punch in the squad. He said he'd knock you out.
Pat is really, really strong, right? And his one punch is quite hard, but then his jabs and stuff, when he's doing jabs, like he's supposed to jab it quite hard, and not like he literally.
Is he tickling it?
Yeah, he literally just goes. and then his big punch is not too bad.
One punch
he's
wonder.
saving all his energy doing that. And then
Deontay Wilder, just with haymakers, is it?
Yeah.
Listening on together.
We love Kalvin, don't we, boys? He's a good lad.
Can't wait to get him back.
I'm so thrilled. I'm thrilled that he's just confirmed he's never leaving Leeds. That was so sweet of him to do that as an exclusive on the
Breaking
news.
Kalvin Phillips agent, everybody. Kalvin, thank you so much for joining us. Right, Matt and Jermaine, thank you, boys, as always, for joining us. Thank you for having a listen. That is it from us this week. Do keep sending in all your comments and questions. We love reading them, and we'll be back next week. See you, boys.
Go on, Leeds.
This is the official Leeds United podcast.